Video game addiction is excessive or compulsive use of video games that interferes with daily life. Instances have been reported in which users isolating themselves from social contact, focusing almost entirely on in-game achievements. Video gaming has overtaken the entertainment industry, making more money than Hollywood in 2008, reaching $38.9 billion worldwide, and it's expected to nearly double in 2013, and surpassing the music industry in 2009. This is a worrying concern that could mean a rise in video game addiction amongst children between 8 to 18 years old. 18.5% of them are considered addicted, according to a media research lab at Iowa State University. The question is, how many hours do you need to play to be considered an addict, and what drives a person to lose himself in a digital world?
I used to play at least 3 hours a day, possibly more sometimes. 100.
I mean, it does range entirely, especially being now at university. I mean, the amount of time that I actually have free depend purely on what course stuff I've got to do, whatever. But I mean, for an example, when I have a new game, I will spend a large amount of time. I mean, recently I played a game, I think on Monday, a few days ago. I pretty much played straight from about 6:30 to 12:30 at night, so that's probably a good 5-6 hours of excessive playing, probably for one day.
Throughout the years, the graphics of computer games have vastly improved, and now whether it's on your Wii or PlayStation, video games have mind-blowing graphics and capabilities that can transport you to another world, thus making video games more appealing to a wide audience and possibly increasing the number of people addicted to video games. But do better graphics really make someone more addicted?
Well, that's difficult to tell. I don't know of any statistics to say that that's the case. But certainly when you look at the availability of games, there is more potential for kids or even adults to be addicted now than there was previously. Especially when you look at the online games, they're extremely popular now, and perhaps will dominate the market in the future. And these type of games, which are very competitive, I think potentially are more addictable than perhaps games that were available 10 years ago.
But what causes a person to play such an excessive amount of hours? With games being more competitive and internet gaming becoming more accessible, it only leaves people with a much larger database to compete with, not forgetting about the social aspect of making new friends online.
I think what you need to look into computer games nowadays is we've moved on a long way from things such as Pong, where you just had the little white dot bouncing across the screen, you were knocking back and forth with it. It's now almost video games are like another genre, they're like movies, they're another media source, and games are almost an escapism, like a totally way of getting out of your boring everyday life. So yeah, I think that's how I look at computer games. I can play an RPG, a role-play game, and it allowed me to just totally forget about everything that's going on, be it things, coursework, stress in my life, whatever, and for those few hours you can put yourself into a different world or something, and I think that's what I enjoy most about it. It's like a release almost, it's an escapism.
Hi, it's the counselling service. People can be physically addicted to something, so medication in some way, so there can be a physical addiction, but there can also be a psychological or an emotional addiction to a substance or a behaviour. So it's quite interesting because there are differences between those two things really. What's most interesting is if I'm working with somebody who believes they are addicted to a behaviour or a substance, is to find out what it's doing for them.
Games like World of Warcraft require endless amounts of playing to master the game. With more than 10 million people worldwide, it has a devastating effect on the person's studies.
Yeah, it's the cocaine, if you like, in the game world.
Yeah, I have heard of it. In fact, I've played it for a short time because a number of my students were what I would say addicted to it. It's an interesting game in that it's an ongoing game. It never ends. So the potential for playing it for an excessive number of hours is certainly there. And you see that with some of my students. There's a group of about 4 or 5 students who recently were blitzing world of Warcraft because the new version came out and they were trying to reach level 80 as fast as they possibly could. And certainly I think this is having a marked impact on their studies and their attendance to the sessions that we deliver. So yeah, I've heard of it and I don't particularly like it because of that.
Whoever this person is, he has played World of Warcraft nearly every hour of every day for the past year and a half. Gentlemen, we are dealing with someone here who has absolutely no life.
Will people learn anything from this experience, or will consumer demand for computer games carry on unchallenged into the future?